Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Let's delve a little more deeply into the Haitian migration situation that's currently taking place in the world today. All right. Now, at the border, you all saw the image, which will accompany this podcast. But you all saw the image of the beast on horseback that was running down a Haitian, and almost seemed like he was hitting the Haitian with the reins of the horse. And that look on his face of disgust and anger, right? When he's paid to do a job without his personal feelings involved in that job. If the Border Patrol agent don't like his job, quit, because there's plenty of other people that would actually love to have that job, right? Now, it says, now the photographer who took that picture of the Border Patrol trying to grab him by his shirt and the way he was looking at this gentleman, right? Now, my suggestion would be for the Haitian men, wait till it's dark, right? And then snatch him off that horse, right? And beat his ass, right? For even attempt to do another human being that way. Now, the person that took the picture said that the migrants were attempting to return to a camp near the International Bridge in Del Rio, Texas, where thousands of migrants have gathered on the U.S. side of the border river. Many of them carry food they just bought in Mexico. But when the migrants attempted, now think about this, food they bought in Mexico, not food they stolen, but they went to Mexico, bought some food, right, and was on their way back to cross the river and return to the U.S. side of the border. Agents used their horses to try to turn them back. The dramatic scene immediately sparked new questions about how a nation of immigrants treats people who are desperate for a better life. Well, that just shows the disparity on how they treat darker-skinned immigrants trying to come into America to seek a better way of life. If they had been immigrants from Russia or Sweden, they wouldn't have been treated as such. And you know it. Now, the photographer's viewpoint, right? And this is NPR.org, right? Video from the scene shows an agent whirling his horse long reins as he tries to block a man from entering the United States. And in a widely seen photographs, an agent lunges nearly out of his saddle to grab a man by the shirt as the man carries bags of food. I thought the Haitians were quite scared, and I think there was probably some panic, which resulted in them trying to run around the horses. This is what the photographer Paul Ratji told NPR's Morning Edition. The agents tried to block them, and then the one agent grabbed the man by his shirt and then kind of swung them around, said Ratji, who frequently covers border issues. And I don't know what prompted that, right? Well, of course, we know what prompted, right? Now, this is the sad part. Now, food that the Haitians brought in Mexico, coming back to feed others, feed their families, feed their children, only to have some of that food waste and spill in the river. And that's why you see those bags and it looks like trash and food in the river, because these idiots, and I'm talking about the border agents, was so insensitive to where they didn't even take in consideration that this might be these people only meals. You come, have them spill their food, then you act like you want to hit them with the horse rein, then you grab them by the shirt, you harass these people, and I guarantee you that's not in the SOP of your job. If you don't like being a Border Patrol agent, leave. because you're going to get all kind of people coming in, since this is a nation of immigrants, and bring your huddle masses. And each border has checkpoints. Okay. Depending on, no matter where you're trying to cross into. Right. So, now his photos quickly went viral, along with video from the scene. The images have now triggered an investigation into what happened, as well as questions about the Biden administration's immigration policies. Absolutely unacceptable, U.S. Representative Veronica Escobar from Texas said as she posted Rat G photos on Twitter. No matter how challenging the situation in Del Rio is, right now, nothing justifies violence against migrants attempting to seek asylum in our country. I mean, think about it. These are migrants who malnourished, hungry, 100-degree heat outside, triple digit. But yet, you trying to pick a fight with these individuals who don't even have the strength to fight you back. Right. But I'm telling melanated people, right, you gotta stop. We gotta stop being the victims. You know, we are met with such heavy aggression, and we try to love that aggression out of these people, but it's not working. DHS promises a swift investigation. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was in this area on Monday visiting the Del Rio port of entry. Mayorkas and other officials suggested that what many viewers took to be agents using whips was actually agents using their horse reins. If you use the horse reins as a whip, it's a whip. But we are going to investigate the facts to ensure that the situation is as we understand it to be, and if it's anything different, we will respond accordingly, he said, according to the Texas Public Radio. The Department of Homeland Security said the U.S. Customs and Border Protection's Office of Professional Responsibility is investigating, adding that the agency's Inspector General has also been informed. The footage is extremely troubling, and the facts learned from the full investigation, which will be conducted swiftly, will define the appropriate disciplinary actions to be taken, DHS said. Before I get into it, well, let me finish. We are committed to processing migrants in a safe, orderly, and humane way, the agency said. We can and must do this in a way that ensures the safety and dignity of migrants. The ACLU of Texas, the American Civil Liberties Union, is demanding accountability for the incident, issuing a statement Tuesday that said agents must be punished if they're found to have behaved or spoken inappropriately toward the migrants. Which, come on, you interview the migrants, if they're not afraid to tell you what all has taken place and what all is currently being taken place, it would shock you. Now, the ACLU, the rights groups, also call for changes in how the agency works. Border Patrol must end the use of horse-mounted agents in Del Rio, Texas, the ACLU chapter said. The immigrants circulating from the border are vile and unacceptable. True. The White House calls for the images horrific. White House Press Secretary Jean Psaki repeatedly called the images horrific when asked about the incident on Monday. Of course, it's horrific. But now let's get into white privilege, though. Let's get into white privilege. Right. Now, prior to the Haitians coming to Del Rio, right, at the border, you saw business owners complaining that they would have to shut down their businesses due to the fact that they couldn't find workers. Some even lowered the standard and qualifications for some to become workers at their establishments, right? Now, at one point, the immigrants, or what they would call illegal aliens coming out of Mexico, used to fill these jobs. But over time, by being in the U.S., a lot of these, what they call illegal immigrants or aliens or whatever they call them, they started opening up their own businesses and restaurants and construction companies and yard cutting companies to where they're not putting in applications for seeking work at some of these establishments. So problem solved. Here you got tens of thousands of potential employees seeking for work. And here you have all of these business owners who needs workers, but you want to send your potential employees back to a country that has been devastated with earthquakes, floods, and an assassination attempt on their president. I mean, come on, really? Really? All because of what? Race? You don't want the Haitians in America? Now, thankfully, which we know, Houston is the most diverse city in this nation. And of course, Houston will welcome these Haitians throughout the city of Houston, and especially on the southwest side of Houston. You know, Houston don't have a problem with it. You know, the people, they want to come. They want jobs. They want to work. They want to save. They want to better themselves. They want education. Bring them on. There are jobs here for them. Meaning, that was the problem that they were complaining while they were in South America, was that they couldn't get jobs in South America, and the racism that they faced in South America led all these Haitians to come on up out of South America. The cartel helped bring them to the border, Del Rio. They're here, and they're here to help these business owners with a really serious issue, right? You got to shut your business down because you got help wanted signs that's not being filled, and you got people waiting to come fill these positions, but you don't want the position you filled by the dark Haitians. So you just rather the business just go under. I mean, talk about cut your nose, spite your face. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But whether you like it or not, the Haitians are coming. You can't send all of them back. Shouldn't send any of them back. You can do them the same way as you're doing the Afghan refugees. Spread them throughout these 50 states. They ready to go to work. If you notice, wasn't no fights and riots and stabbings under the border. These people coming to buy food in Mexico and bring it back to the U.S. side of the border and getting ran down by men on horses. Right? But Haitians, I'm telling you, don't set that precedent that you docile and weak, because you got some racists in America that would dog your trail because they think you docile and weak. You know, some gonna have to stick their chest out and be like, look, you run me down with this horse, I'm gonna kick your ass. I mean, that's the only language to understand. You can't appear to be frail and docile, especially if you coming in Texas. You know, they will eat you alive in Texas. You got to stand up, stick your chest out in Texas, and say you want some, come get some. You know, you don't want no static, but if you bring it, let's go. You know what I mean? You got to take on that attitude in Texas and be willing to suffer or face whatever on your principles and your manhood in Texas. If not, once again, they will eat you alive. Verbal Prick Radio, reminding you all, check out our film Black's Journey, currently shown on FlexNet TV, and also you can purchase you a copy by going to vcmfilms.gum, G-U-M, road, R-O-A-D.com. And we're out.